everybody. Just having fun with the latest song. Thank you so much. I am currently in transit. I am in Spain. I am logging in from Madrid. We have had a fabulous trip for those of you who followed in South of America, and now we're on our way and headed back. Very, very super Saubana to every single one of you, and thank you for sending me so many messages of how you're missing the Insta Live. You know, I always say this. There used to be a time in my Insta Live where I used to write my own questions because I used to be like, I hope koi aa jaye. You know, and now to see so many of you waiting, such a good feeling. आवाज ही चली गई. All right, super duper good morning. Let's see who all are in the room. Hi, Uma, Leena, Lakshmi, Jayashri, Minakshi, Shravanti, super good morning, darling. Anita Gupta, hello. Khyati, hi, sweetheart. Deepika, Shami Kachru, thank you for following me so sweetly and sending so many nice wordings on the pictures. Nain, PVT, Mystic Megha, Wij Khyati, Archana, Harshita, Anuradha, Pooja, Abhinasali. Am I pronouncing your name right? I don't know. Rajvi. Hi Pooja, so many times I think that I want to ask you how your workshop helps us. Okay. So Rajvi, my suggestion is best to come for it. You know, I have a couple of things that I can share with you. One, where I work completely on your personality development. How can that help you? I think the help is rather intangible. It improves your relationships with yourself, with others. It improves the way you operate and think in life. I think it's more a wisdom giving course. So everywhere where you can use your wisdom to have a better perspective on life, I think that's how awakening helps. I have another program called Coaching Mastery where I help women become financially free. I'm a big believer that today, the world we live in currently, the woman has to have her own money if she wants to deserve the respect that she truly deserves, right? So if she really wants to get the respect that she truly deserves, so Coaching Mastery is, I think every woman should be a coach. To be honest, I think the way my life has changed, personally, who I was as a mother, wife, daughter, daughter-in-law changed completely. So I'm a big believer, whether you do it to make money and help outsiders, that's a great contribution to the world any which ways. Otherwise, do it for yourself. So I really want, and I'm very keen to start a movement where every woman learns to be a coach for her own family, for her own children, for her own spouse, how to speak to people, how to become a better communicator. I think that is such an essential part of life, don't you think so? And of course, this August, I am launching for the first time a program called the Love Mastery, which truly helps you in building your core relationship, your romantic relationship as a couple. So I don't know what you need, Raji, but maybe you would love self-development, maybe you love spouse development, or maybe you will love money development, depending on what you need in your life. Be in touch with Gunjan. Gunjan's phone number is going to be underneath this live at the end of this program, and see which one is pulling you or attracting you towards it. Okay? Oh, so sweet. Let me quickly show you the outside of my room ka Spanish view. I don't know if you can see, there isn't much of a view, but just the architecture is so interesting. As I was walking the blocks today, it was so lovely to just see the whole architecture of even Spain, even Argentina, South America. They're all just so beautiful when it comes to buildings. Nice. You look so beautiful. I am actually feeling so fresh. You know, the sun is super strong here compared to, we've been in jackets and cold and everything, but Spain is rather hot. So yesterday I had my Enlightenment Goddess Kali session. So I was in black the whole day in that heat, and I was so uncomfortable that this morning I think I woke up and wore whatever was white in my suitcase I have pulled out. Priyanka Ahuja official is asking how to overcome one drawback, a major one in a relationship. Priyanka, it all depends on the drawback, sweetheart. So, I believe that situations in our relationships come into three departments. First department is, can I accept? Okay, is it a possibility that I can accept? Because no relationship is perfect. So there is a certain amount of deep acceptance that is required in relationships when you love the person. The second one is, can I confront and change? Now that's the hard one. Okay, so can I confront and change is a constant. What happens is you become a nagging person. So I always say, if you're not planning to leave the person, the faster you can accept, the better. If you can. Of course, if it's a non-acceptable issue, let's say there's domestic violence or there's alcoholism or there is some really severe issue, then if it's a non-negotiable, how fast can I make myself strong enough to be able to leave? So I like to compartmentalize these issues into these three. Now, somebody's leaving issue could be someone's acceptance issue. So there's no one answer, right answer for any relationship, but it's all about then seeing what do I want to do. Now, when you move into deep acceptance with someone, it's very important to start to look at what is right in their personality and what's the one thing that you're not going to choose to talk about. Let's say your man does something that you don't personally like. Let's say you're a vegetarian and he eats non-veg. Okay, and you don't like that. It's morally against your ethics, it's against your culture, it's against your religion, but he does it. Everything else about him is lovely. He's a great protector, great provider, great lover, but he has this issue. Now, I see some of us getting stuck with that one issue and making it the issue of our life. And then what happens? We forget to notice all the good thing and the man starts to believe no matter what, I can never make her happy. And that breaks the relationship. So I say when it's things like that, the faster you can deeply accept him. Every single person has flaws. And the thing about a wife is she starts to believe when she becomes wife that now it's her job to fix the man. I think that's such a wrong energy to operate from. I think we have to come together as two consenting adults who understand the choices that they are making, and they may not be in 100% agreement with each other, but a deep respect for the other person's choices is what takes the relationship to the next level. So if I knew the major drawback, I could have guided you on which one of these and how. But however, for now, use this information and see how you can start to look at, is it something I can deeply accept? No. Can I confront it? Have I confronted it? Have I confronted it the right way? There is a style to communication where when you're setting boundaries, you have to set consequences. If you are saying something, confronting someone without consequences, then you are nagging. That is not called consequences. Because if there is no ultimatum, if there is no outcome, then why will he listen, right? So you have to have some sort of an ultimatum, some sort of a outcome. And it doesn't have to be a threat. It could just be, this is not okay for me. And I want to give you the time to be able to realize this is not okay for me till I move it to a non-negotiable. Yeah? If I have a fight with my husband, what do I do? Career coach Neha, please come for Love Mastery. It's happening on 9th, 10th and 11th of August. I'm going to ask my girl to share the link in the bio and in the story for my Love Mastery course so that you can all come for that, because I feel like the fact that we are not trained in our relationships is a huge setback to us women. There was so much that can get solved just through a deeper understanding of the psychology of a couple. And the more you understand the psychology of a couple, the more you can use all of that information in your own relationship. And have you ever had a time in your life where you felt like, Kash, mujhe ye pehle pata hota? That's literally how you will feel when you come for the Love Mastery session. Uma Basu, literally happened in my life. I've accepted my husband's flaws and we're absolutely happy today. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Uma. Life coach Anushka, hey Pooja, do you ever feel bored to go on a vacation? Like enough of vacations? Asking because I felt this at one stage in my life. Anushka, absolutely that can happen, because I also have what I call the ROI on a holiday. The ROI on a holiday is the amount of money you are spending on the holiday versus the amount of fun you're having. And for me, I've noticed 1 week is what I can last, after which every meal is becoming more painful, and the trip becomes too long, then I start to get homesick, even though my children sometimes will be with me. So when my children are with me, maybe that's not when I experience it. But if the kids are not with me, then I do miss Chennai a lot. So this trip, I haven't felt any of this. There was no boring moment even one day, because we kept moving from city to city to city, different foods, different continent, very different things to see, like, I mean, every fruit was so unique, every animal was so unique. It just was a very, very unique trip. So this trip I've not felt it, but I normally tell Puneet, anything beyond 7 days, sweetheart, we are wasting our money. Let's keep it for the next trip. So I agree with you 100%. And after a while, it does become so too much. Like this year, for me, the first half of the year, I think I've done about 5 old countries and 5 new countries. I mean, 10 different countries is just too much travel. And I have started to get what I call travel fatigue now. Rather, I reach back and the very next day I have to go somewhere. One more trip is planned because of something. And I know that for me, that's going to be a bit effortful. And once I come back, I don't have anything planned for August, September, October, November, December, which I'm literally, for a change, thrilled about, that I'm not going to travel and I want to be in Chennai till I start to get bored and not spending any more money also. Ramanan Revati, I'm in the process of making my decision to join my old school, so difficult to decide, ma'am. Ramana, anytime in life you're making, Revati, anytime in life you're making a decision, the best way to make a decision is to make a decision from the information you have at that point of time. Okay, and then make the decision right. So it's not making the right decision, it's about making the decision right. And a lot of times you may realize that, you know what, at that point I thought this is what is going to be, but when you land up joining, maybe things are completely different. You had thought it's going to be a 5-day work week, it turns out to be a 6-day work week. You thought your salary is going to be this much, it turns out to be something else. And so it's very important in life to make decisions and then to redo, undo, add something as time goes by. And that's totally okay. I feel like a lot of people feel like once they've made a decision, they have to stick by to that decision. They have to live by that decision. Not true. Life is changing and giving you new information. New information deserves new speculation. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you need to keep changing your mind every morning, but till the time you've made the decision, you have the liberty to think of that decision in every possible way to see what's going to set for you best. And I am not someone who gets too attached to my decision making. Today, I could be thinking like this. Tomorrow, I could be thinking something else. And I think having an open mind helps us make better decisions faster. And the faster we make our decisions, the more faster we can progress. A lot of us take a lot of time to make a decision, and then we take a lot of time to undo that decision. I feel like that slows our progress. Okay, now I'm not saying don't have consistency, don't have determination, don't have persistence after you have made the decision. Yes, work towards making it 100% success once you've made the decision. But once you've given it your 100%, if you still feel it's not working for you, please, we are not trees, we are humans. We were meant to move from one place to another place to another place if it's not suiting us. True or not? Dr. Yoga Holistic Life Coach, how to know whether the husband is really supportive or is just a drama of being supportive but is really not? Oh, you know what? I would give my husband the permission to do the drama if he's doing a good job of the drama. You don't have to truly be supportive, because guess what? You yourself half the time don't know what the right answer is, true or not. So to expect someone else to believe in you before you even believe in your own self, I think is unfair. So even if he's doing the drama, appreciate him for the drama. So what? None of us know where we are really headed. None of us really know what we are actually doing. We are all winging it in some ways. You know, if it works out, his drama will become real. If it doesn't work out, it will show. Okay, so his drama depends on your success and not on the fact that whether he's doing drama or not. I think that's layer two. I think in a relationship, like I'll tell you something I did in my marriage. So I am someone who loves compliments from my spouse. I need that acknowledgement. I want that acknowledgement rather. And so he's a man of less words, more action. So one of the things I told him was that every day at 7 o'clock, you give me a compliment. He calls it PP, Puja Priority, and he's put it on his phone very sweetly. He gets a reminder. Now, to some of my friends, that is just not acceptable. They're like, what? He has a reminder to give you a compliment? That's so crappy, Puja. Like, you know, how fake is that, or how artificial is that? No. Everything done well was initially done with practice. Everything. Eventually you think of all the things you're good at. Okay. Now can I tell you, for the last 5-7 years, because of this PP reminder that he has on his phone, at 7 o'clock he looks for Pooja's hair is looking nice, or Pooja's put flowers in the house, or Pooja's, you know, whatever. He genuinely looks around to find something that will make me feel good that he's noticing. Okay, it's worked like magic in our marriage, and today over the years he's put in a special effort, and can I tell you, today he's a compliment king. A man who had no idea how to give compliments. When I used to ask him anything, he used to say, yeah, that's above average. Those were the kind of sentences he used to use. Today can give the most profound, the most deep compliments, because he's practiced it over so many years that up to walking, talking gratitude comes out of his mouth. Now, to somebody this may be very fake, but to me it is one of the most beautiful things in my marriage, that I get what I want and I give him what he wants, and that barter works so beautifully for us. So I feel like too many of us are over checking whether this is a real support, this is drama support, this is this. My suggestion is, if you're getting support, be grateful. You be grateful long enough, the support will get real, Meri Jaan. Rachna Roshan 07. Hello ma'am, please let us know how to deal with the fear of sending your son to a hostel. Aww. So Rachna, I sent both my sons to a hostel. Both my parents went to a hostel. I'm a hostel girl. So can I tell you, the first few days of your child being in hostel are super scary. Okay, you really want him to make friends, you want him to settle down, you want him to readjust his life to a boarding school. So there's a lot of anxiety. But over time, when you realize that this is good for your child, he's happy, he's progressing, he's growing, then it becomes very easy. So I think you have to know that any new decision in the beginning creates a little bit of anxiety. Change has anxiety built in it, right? So can you, with your anxiety, still learn to deal with sending your son to the hostel? Absolutely. Will in the beginning it will feel intimidating? 100%. Will you need to check on him the first 3 months a lot more than the next 3 years? 100%. You want them to settle down. Like I remember my older one did phenomenally well in the boarding school, while the younger one thought it was a 365 days of overnight spend in friend's house. He was having such a blast that his actually marks went down, and I had to tell him, "Tu वापस आ जा. You are better off under my supervision." So different children, different reaction to boarding schools. For somebody, they flourish. Like for me, my boarding school did so much for me. I was in a beautiful boarding school in Mussoorie. It was called Mussoorie International. And I remember going there, and literally every year I only kept getting better and better and progressing. The school was also really amazing, and my parents saw that, right? So for some children, it works like magic, and for some children, it doesn't. And I think as parents, it's very important, again, to keep looking at, is this the right decision for my child? Is this the right school for my child? And accordingly make your plan. Okay, so it's not about like totally saying, no, hostel is the best thing or staying at home is the best thing. No, different children, different requirements. It's like a lotus needs keychair to grow, while a rose needs dry land to grow, right? Now, you may have a lotus or you may have a rose, only time will tell. So therefore, you have to try different things to see कि कहाँ पे मेरे बच्चे का सबसे flourishing होता है, right? Archana, what is Kali session? Oh, Kali session is the different goddesses I do. There's a program I run called Enlightenment, which has different goddesses. We start with the goddess of joy, move to goddess of intimacy, move to goddess of forgiveness, move to goddess of purpose and courage and mission, move to goddess of vision, move to goddess of... So yesterday was Kali. Kali goddess is all about boundary setting with toxic people. It's a long session and I took it from Spain. So that's the Kali session for you. Can you tell one technique which has helped you embody your feminine energy? Of course. I think feminine energy needs rest in it. So we live in a world where the masculine has some ways started to, establish that resting is actually not a great thing. It's being lazy. That daydreaming is actually not a good thing. So when these things are put as not good things, what women do is we start to overdo everything. So the perfectionist in us wants to be perfect at home, perfect as a mother, perfect in the work life, perfect in looks, and that perfectionism after a while starts to take a toll on us because we get exhausted. So if you truly want your feminine energy to be at its peak, you have to learn to deal with your exhaustion, which means you need to specifically do things that help you get out of exhaustion, which could be an afternoon nap, it could be listening to music, it could be spending time with friends, it could be going shopping, it could be going to the salon. It doesn't matter how you do it, but you have to look for outlets that keep you away from being exhausted, because exhaustion is to me a symptom of you being out of your feminine energy. So I'd love for you to tell me in the chat box, all of you who are listening, what are the things you do to not get exhausted? What are the things you do in your life to recuperate, to energize yourself, to remain productive in a happy way? And one of the things in all my sessions you will hear me saying when you land up joining any of my programs is how to continuously look after your mental health in a world that is wanting our attention all the time. We could just be getting exhausted because we are scrolling and using, our mind on every 1 minute changing the topic. Can you go how we can go from topic to topic to topic to topic, and that creates mental fatigue. So all of us need to start to look at how am I going to silence my brain to be able to be super productive. Super productivity does not come from us using all of our time to be productive, not at all. I like to divide my days into 3 parts, which I call the prep, the delivery, and the rest period. And preparation, the better I prep, the better my delivery. Delivery is where I flow. This is what I call delivery, when I'm in front of my audience. Prep is the preparation before. Now for Q&A doesn't need much preparation, but let's say if I have a topic, then I like to prepare for it. And for me, my preparation can be deep gratitude, it can be meditation, it can be breath work, it can be envisioning, it could be affirmations. I love a man called Hal Elrod who has this lovely concept called the Savers. Savers is basically S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualization, E for energizing, R for or exercising, and R for reading, and S for scribing. You can look it up, Hal Elrod Savers, and just go through and see out of these 6 things, what are the things you can start to bring into your morning routine. And I feel like my feminine works best when I have a direction and clarity towards where I'm going. And in that, I build my speed. I'm a big believer of divine speed. I don't like to fight with God on not giving me things according to my timeline. I'm a believer that ask for what you want, but get it when God is ready to give it to you. And when you have that kind of an equation, it's just so much more easier to make bigger decisions in life, to do and achieve so much more. So see if you can develop that faith and surrender in something beyond yourself, whether you call it cosmic intelligence or conscious energy or, universal, consciousness. You can name it whatever you like, even it could be a god. But I think having that kind of faith and surrender removes worry. And a lot of us women, we tend to spend a lot of time worrying about the things or trying to control the things that are not in our control. So see if you can look into that and get some perspective on getting your feminine energy in balance by really not being exhausted. I think one of the things people often meet me and says, Pooja, how are you so energetic all the time? Because I'm highly conscious of not being I like to live my life in high energy, and I think that's really served me, which means I have to conserve energy a lot more than most people. So learning the art of conserving energy, the more solid your morning routine, the more solid your energy. Vivek Vasanta, enjoyed all your photos from South America. Thanks for taking us virtually with you. Thank you for coming. You know, I'm such an extremely private person that for me, one of the biggest learnings that I've had to have is that it's okay to share your journey with people. And I think just the way we all grow up, we are so culturally conditioned to keep our happy moments personal that I find it a little bit of a, I don't know, show off energy, if I may say so, when I have to share so much of my trip or so much of my travel or so much of my life. But now I have started to learn that, you know what, it's the kind of work I do, it has inspiration built into it. And one of the ways of me inspiring others is to show them the good life. So that's why all of this sharing, and though it still makes me 5% uncomfortable, not as much as it used to be, 50% uncomfortable, now it's only 5%. But you know, the amount of love and appreciation each one of you has sent, I don't think that 5% has any meaning. Atul Yasaf, I recently moved to Kuwait with my husband, but I'm not able to stay here due to the severe climate. I wish to migrate to some cold country. I'm trying for many job opportunities, but nothing seems to be working. Yes, Atulya, I know. I mean, the world is getting hotter and hotter and it's just crazy. So keep manifesting, sweetheart. Don't give up so quickly. I think right now the world, especially European countries and Canadian countries, Canadian cities, people are looking for people to come in, especially if you're highly skilled. The high skill set jobs are quite available in the world right now. Every country is now starting to create easier formats around their visas. I know Italy has changed its visa policy. Germany is asking people to come in. So a lot is changing in the world. So I have a feeling that if you just stay positive, you may be able to easily get a job. It shouldn't be so difficult. And while low paying jobs are going out, a skill set job is actually being recognized and people are inviting people. UK has a special secondary segment of people who are highly skilled. That means if you're above 38,000 pounds per year or something like that, you get the whole facility of organizing your visa and everything. They have made much easier. So the world is right now opening up to Indians, I believe, and to especially highly skilled Indians. So keep looking for a job, sweetheart. It's just on its way. You know, I remember when I was moving out of my house for 3 years, when we were demolishing and making it, that I went and saw 35 apartments and my husband was like, you're crazy, because I had 4 conditions. I remember saying I want a 4-bedroom, I wanted to be brand new, I wanted to be within 1 kilometer of my house, and I wanted it to have a lot of light and air passing by. So these were my 4 conditions. I think there was a 5th one also, that it should have a room for my staff. So these 5 conditions, so I had to go through a lot of houses. What I knew in my head was, there is a house that has all of these 5. Am I willing to make the effort to find it? Okay, so I'm going to say the same thing to you, Atulya. There is a job right now that is the perfect fit for your personality. Now, you may have to go through a lot of interviews, jobs, looking, seeking, searching, but it exists. Just the way I tell women who are looking for men, the man exists. Now, are you willing to date enough people that you find the right guy? Some of us want to sit at home and magically the thing should appear. Now, that's what doesn't happen. Okay, so don't give up too quickly, sweetheart. Keep working on it with this belief that it exists. I just have to find it. See, if you are 100% sure that there is a 50 lakh rupee diamond somewhere in the 1 kilometer radius of your house, how badly would you search for it? Now, if you were not sure, would you go searching? No, you would look like a fool, right? But if you were sure, would you go searching? 100%, right? So just be sure that it exists. When you have that surety that it exists and it's just a matter of searching, then search becomes much, much easier rather than disappointing. Lavanya, so happy to see you live. So happy to be here. Sony 150185. Hi ma'am, I'm a teacher and I have been teaching since more than 14 years. But now I'm confused and feel school teaching is now hard for me in terms of how to deal with the students. What should I do? Sony, my suggestion is keep on up-leveling your skill set. Okay, anything we start in the beginning, we put in a lot of effort to become good at. And then over time, what happens is we start to stagnate. And as we stagnate, we stabilize. But the problem is over time, it will start to get harder and harder if we do not keep improving ourselves. So for me, Sony, I think more it is right now that you need a new set of skill sets, which is how to deal with students. My suggestion would be come for the Awakening program, come for some of my programs. It will give you a lot of insight into how to communicate and how to deal with other people. And I think just that in itself will make you a fabulous teacher. Or go do something specialized in the student psychology section of the world. There's so many online courses today that you don't have much to worry, sweetheart. Vani Vrindaran. Why is it happening that all that you desire was about to come true but suddenly it collapses? It hurts more now. Why is it happening like that? One of the things about manifestation is that it will always get challenged the closer you are to it. Okay, so I'll just give you an analogy. So let's say you are desiring a man. I'm just taking any example, okay? And that man is, you've met him, you've started to date him, you're loving the idea of how it's working out, you're very happy. And suddenly you realize that he's also been dating two other ladies, okay? This is going to happen, okay? Information is continuously changing. So something, you are going to buy a house and you realize somebody else has also bid for it. It was going to come your way, the travel, but you realize that your mother-in-law has fallen sick. A challenge is a part of the manifesto. Okay, so once you understand that the challenge is going to come, now what happens is if you let your energy go down because of the challenge, then you lose whatever it is that was coming your way, which means you've put a gate between you and whatever it is you want to receive. But if you keep your energy high saying, oh, it's just a challenge. If I overcome it, God wants to give me even more than what he had planned for me. Maybe it's not going to be this man, it's going to be an even better man. Maybe it's not going to be this house, it's going to be an even better. Which is why I always say, whenever you're manifesting anything, don't get attached to a particular thing. Get attached to the thing. Get attached to a house. Don't get attached to a particular house. So the more you can say this or something better, the more open your energy field is, the more God can actually give you. So when the challenge comes, while it may look like everything is collapsing, the real truth is it's all working in your favor. Okay, it's all going to work out. But you know what happens? Our focus is so much on what's going wrong that we forget to see the right that comes out of the wrong. Start to develop the eyes to be able to see the right. I'll give you an example of this trip itself. Okay, so my children were flying in, their flight got delayed, they had to miss their JFK connection, this, that, everything. Long story short, it all looked like they may not even reach South America. But eventually they did. I just had to pray a little more and I just had to stay in the faith कि यार सब कुछ हो जाएगा. Okay, now I could have made that into कि oh God, trip ही गलत start हुआ है, ये देखो कैसे हो गया, भगवान जी क्यों नहीं support करते. I could have gone into that mode, or I went into the mode of, you know what, 4 hours here, 4 hours there, how does it matter? And can I tell you, just when I told them, okay, leave it, just go to the hotel, we'll redo your tickets the next day, that's the time where suddenly some things happened and they caught the flight that they were actually supposed to be on. Their baggage came 2 days later. That's a different story. What did we do? We had insurance. We went and bought clothes for them. It all will work out eventually if we remain in the state of that it's all in the process of working out. That's how life works. I feel like some of us think of life as a problemless journey where when problems show up, something is going wrong. What if we had to re-examine life as a journey of problems, and learning to make the problems right is the path of life? When we start to look at life like that, then all of this doesn't come in your thought process of, just when things are about to happen, they collapse. No, they were going to collapse any which ways. Just start to have this understanding that every peak has a valley and every valley has a peak. So life is like that. Life is not like that. Because life is not in a straight line, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. When you hit the peak, people say, no, nazar lag jayegi. That's when you fall. When you hit the valley, guess what? The next thing is good. So it's all going to be like that. Start to accept life and deal with life with a smile. Whether you're in a peak or in a valley, if you can smile throughout, you'll start to see a lot more peaks coming into your life. The up-down becomes like this, and that is so much better. The down doesn't remain so down, and that's when you started to master life, when the up and down ka gap becomes much lesser. Otherwise, some of us are living like this, and those people who live like that have a very extreme sense of, when good happens they get so joyous, and when bad happens they get so sad, not understanding that life is a combination of these. So it's going to happen. If the good has come, the bad has to follow. If the bad has come, the good has to follow, and that's life, Meri Jaan. Yeah. Sony, I attended your awakening and registered for the coaching certification. Also, still I doubt I'm able to coach others because I myself need a coach yet. 100% Sony, you're correct. I think all of us need a coach. I think it'll be a very hypocrite statement to make when somebody thinks other people need help but I don't need help. Having said that, I do believe there are topics that you're superbly good at that will come out through the coaching certification that you should help in. And there are topics that you should never help in. For example, I'm never going to help someone get fitter, get healthier, exercise more, be more consistent in their, any sort of movement. That's not my topic because that's not something that interests me. But in relationships, I know I can help people. In personality development, I know I can help people. So over the months when you do the coaching certification, it's my job to help you, guide you, figure out what are the topics that naturally you flow at, that people love listening to you on, and what are the topics that you definitely need help in, and maybe you will need help in till your last dying day. I think a lot of us believe that a coach has to be a 360-degree amazing person for them to be able to help people. Absolutely not. If you come and sit with my husband and ask him, he will tell you that these are the 5 things Pooja still needs to improve. Improvement never stops. But there are some topics you are naturally good at, and there are some topics you're going to need help in. The topics you need help in, get coaching. The topics you're good at, give coaching. Simple as that. Today your hair looks fabulous. Oh, I've done it up after so long. Yesterday I came into the hotel and I actually washed my hair. So yeah, I've been supremely, what would I say? On this trip, I have literally 2 lipsticks, 1 blush on, 1 kajal. And, I've been just tying my hair majority of the time with just 5 outfits because we had to travel. The luggage weight for the Amazon jungle was 7 kilos. For the other one, it was 5 kilos on the train and everything. So I've traveled so differently. Normally, I'll carry like 5 pairs of shoes. I'll have accessories. Today is the first day I'm actually wearing earrings, by the way. I haven't been wearing earrings on this whole trip because it's just been one of those trips where it's been so casual that I've dressed up after so long. I myself am feeling so pretty because you know how sometimes like there are trips where you look very nice and there are trips where you've just not bothered about how you're looking. This trip has been a little bit like that. I'm just not bothered about how I'm looking. So today I've actually dressed up after a really long time. I myself am finding it so odd to be in earrings today. Okay, let me go right to the bottom and see some latest questions by all of you. God, there's so much conversation. So I'm missing all the good stuff. Wow. Prerna Jain, how to become the best version of myself in all areas of my life. Prerna, please come for the Awakening program. I would love to take you on a 1-month journey. It's 4 weeks of beautiful conversation around the perspective on how to be an extraordinary goddess woman. If that's something that excites you, Aja Meri Jaan. Coaches also need coaching. There's always something to learn. Fabulous. Absolutely. Unleash drive within. Durgeshwata Gupta. Ma'am, I'm so grateful that while doing my money manifestation course, I left one bad habit of being on Instagram every day. I was able to not use Instagram for the big 21 days. Oh my God, that's huge. I am so proud of you. For all of you who went through the 21 days of the money manifestation program, do let me know in the chat box, how was it for you? Were you able to attract more money into your life? Do you feel your mindset has got a reset as far as abundance is concerned? I feel like we women just don't have a great relationship with money, and that courses like this or challenges like this really reset something. They rewire our brain to really start to attract into our life that we are then ready for. Superb. I think I'm a nutritionist and I think I'm naturally good in that. Great. So you found your topic. Each one of you needs to find your topic in what it is that you can do coaching in. Anushka, how do you deal with the stress of preparation before a big event? Like, I feel constant stress that I have to work on it, so don't feel relaxed and peace of mind till the event. Anushka, different people have different ways to prepare for anything big that's going to be happening in their life. And I think it's very important to have an attitude of how does it best work for you. Like, I do a lot of preparation before a big event, but then about 24 to 48 hours before the event, I kind of switch off and I start to then germinate, whatever it is, that preparation that I've put inside myself, for it to start to, take over my body so that I feel energized rather than stressed. So I go into relax mode 24 hours before my events so that I can do a better job of, I do a lot of preparation, but before 24 hours to 48 hours before, you'll see me totally calm, walking around easy poosy, now fully feeling confident. And from inside, I won't be confident, but I'll just pretend to be confident because I like to leave it to God also to participate in all that I create. So I've done my part, which is called sowing the seed. Now God has to come and grow the seed. So there's a point where I go into deep faith and surrender. I think the passion test really helps. If you're a part of my program and you're looking for clarity, I'm going to highly recommend go back and keep doing the passion test every month. The more number of times you've done the passion test, and that's a part of your bonuses, you get it free when you do the Awakening program. You do the passion test again and again, and that's pretty much how I found my calling. So in the beginning, in my passion test, I remember I wrote, I love reading. But what is reading going to do with my purpose or passion or mission in life, right? Then I started writing, I love reading non-fiction books. Then I started to write, I love reading self-development books. Then I started to write, I would want to start a book club with these kind of books. And then I started my book club, and I realized that these conversations around psychology and communication and deep reflections and deeper conversations and wisdom of life and new perspectives used to give me a lot of high. And having that realization, I started to feel like this is at that point, I didn't know there was a motivational industry. I just knew that, these are things that should have been taught to us in school. That's how I looked at it. And as I kept doing it, I kept getting drawn to the opportunities. And today with Instagram and social media, I mean, you think of something and it shows up in your page, true or not? And we start to think the whole world is doing that, true? So I'm going to highly recommend to you, keep doing the passion test. It will really help you. Rather do it every month for the next 6 months and see what comes out of it. It's the engagement that you have with your clarity eventually that takes you towards your goal. So do the passion test, look for what came out of it. Let's say for me, I love reading came out. Superb. Now go buy some books and read. The more you read, the more I realize the kind of books I like to read, right? So clarity, engagement. Clarity, engagement. I have a teacher called Marie Folio and she says this so beautifully. Clarity never comes from sitting on your sofa and thinking about something. It comes from when you engage with it. What happens is, it's like life is like an onion. You unpeel one layer, the next layer becomes visible. You peel the next layer becomes visible. Some of us are waiting to see the core of the onion, then only we will decide whether we even want to peel the onion. That's now not how life works. You have to keep peeling. You have to keep walking the path for you to be able to reach your highest mission or purpose. Your highest mission or purpose does not come to you. You have to go to discover it, which means there's a lot of engagement with life that you have to do. Got it? How to start meditating? Any coach you recommend to learn? Devika, I feel like meditation is one of those topics that we have over philosophized. What is meditation? It is that ability to settle all the various thoughts that are going on in our mind and to bring it down to one thought. Now that can be done by doing chanting of a mantra. That can be done by looking at one flame. That can be done by focusing on our breath. That can be done by just us sitting in our silence and allowing the mind to do its monkey jumping around till it starts to settle. Correct? All of these are great ways to meditate. I mean, there are hundreds of meditations, so guided meditations in the beginning are easier to do than to do it yourself. So just go on YouTube and every day just promise yourself that for 10 minutes you're going to listen to one meditation no matter what. And for 21 days, just dedicate yourself to following the practice of sitting down for meditation rather than getting your meditation right. I don't think there's a concept called meditating right. I think if you meditate long enough, it will become right. Okay? It's like cycling. You cycle. At some point, you'll be able to cycle. Now, what is right cycling versus wrong cycling? No. Just you can cycle. Once you've learned cycling, you can cycle. Whether you do pedaling in that style or this style or that style, it doesn't matter. So I feel like we've over philosophized meditation. I think meditation can be done at any point, anywhere, sitting in a bus. Just what is it? It's just about bringing your mind to calm down. There are 1,000 projectors that are open in our mind, and slowly if we learn to switch off every projector and bring it down to one thought. So you decide that, you know what? I'm just going to watch the red cars on the road. Superb. And as you are going through, you're just focusing on being present with all the red cars on the road. That's meditation, my sweetheart. All right, I have to run now. We have a flight to catch. So thank you everyone for coming. Let's quickly get a picture. Let me know in the chat box or in your stories, what was it that you learned most from today's session? Yeah, got it? Superb. Thank you so much for coming. Loads of love. Take care of yourselves. And if you're interested in joining any of my programs, the link is in the bio. I will be sharing the Love Mastery program details or the Love Lab details with you in the story. So not to worry. And I may even give you a code to type out underneath this page so that you are able to get the link directly into your DM. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye everyone. See you in India. Ciao. Take care.